Hey guys, I'm the Dow King, and this is basically a scam alert because somebody in my community just got scammed almost about $4,500 out of this. I had a long conversation with him, and I generally am. I don't want to FUD projects or stuff like that unless I know it's a scam. I actually do the full research on the back, so I actually have proof. He gave me the actual proof that this is an actual scam. And not only that, there's actually a YouTuber that posted proof too, which was great because I actually confirmed everything. That YouTuber lost $4,000 himself. I was actually really mad that this person in my community lost money on this. And this scam is ongoing, which sucks too. And they're making over $100,000 a month because you can see here they have $582,000 invested. Oh, I got scared. I thought it was 5.8 million, but 582,000. And if you go back a few months, well, this scam's been going on for a really long time. It was only $343,000 just 2 months ago. This guy is promoting it and still probably promoting it. They're obviously paying a lot of YouTubers to promote it, and they don't really seem to care. They are doing it. So, but the YouTubers they're using are kind of off-brand YouTubers. Or guys just don't understand YouTube or even understand crypto, which is probably why you're not seeing this get really reported out there. And look, it's up here, another one invested. You know, they make it look all legit, but you know, it's a total scam. And I actually went off on the guy that invested in this because he's been in my community for a long time. He hit me up over a month ago, actually, told me what happened. And I thought this site would be taken down. I was like, bro, like you should know better. And then he's like, you know, the site's still up. And I'm like, what? How could it be still up? And they collected, I saw over another $100,000. It's insane. But listen, this is what I saw. And I'm like, I go, listen, you know, this is fake, right? He goes, yeah, I did. He goes, I thought I was getting early in a Ponzi. And I'm like, wow. And that's the thing. There's a lot of Ponzi investors. He goes, I know how all this stuff works. He goes, I'm experienced. But they just kept the money. He gave them $4,500 and they kept it. And then when you ask for a withdrawal, they say there's a 20% withdrawal fee. And he's like, okay, take it off the top. And they go, no, you need to pay it. So he ended up giving them almost like another $900 to get his money out. Well, needless to say, they kept the $900 too. So he lost over about $5,400. If you can believe it, it's insanity. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, bro, how are you so stupid? And he goes, listen, he's like, I thought I was getting in early and I saw the total go up. He's like, I thought I'm good. And I'm like, oh man. And this is the problem with the Ponzi investing out here. I had a video, I'll put it up for you, why we invest in Ponzi's. You guys, you're also being predators. But the problem is there's always bigger predators out there. These are organized rings. I'm going to show you how this is an organized ring. This fraud Kassoft has been going on for a long time. You guys really think 8% a day is real? Come on now. You guys really think 5% a day is real? 4%, 4.2% is what you get in a whole year if you put your money in the bank. They're going to give it to you in a day. You're going to make that'd be a hell of a Ponzi. I mean, these guys, come on now. They just running away with the money. And the referral program they got going on, that's how the YouTubers are making money. Maybe the YouTubers are the only ones who make money here. But it's just, it's a disaster. I can't even believe this thing's going on, but check it out. This is even crazier. This is crazy to me. This was not the first iteration of Kassoft. This was the first iteration of Kassoft. They already had a site called Kassoft.io, which is no longer around. This guy made a video. No one really seemed to care because probably nobody watches him. Oh yeah, yikes, fake people. Yeah, all these people in here are fake. I think they got away with probably over $1 million on this one. Like these are all fake. They just use people's images and they made up names, and this guy exposes it. But anyway, it got shut down. Same thing. They revamped it, and then they came back with Kassoft. What's the website? LTD. But don't even go to the website. Don't even go. God knows what's going to happen if you go. This is the funny thing about all this. There's still YouTubers promoting it. It's absolutely insanity. But you know, they're getting the referrals, so they really don't care probably, or they just don't know. And this is the problem that I have. Oh yeah, and this guy, he's promoting it. Oh, and then this guy, if you listen to this guy, Crypto Bandit, he actually showed exactly what happened to him. He put $4,000, and this is why you can call something a scam. You don't go run around calling things a scam that you don't have proof on. I have actual proof. Usually I like to have two two sets. I have somebody in my own community and Crypto Bandit. Crypto Bandit put $4,000 in here. He couldn't withdraw it. They said, give us $800 more, which he did. And then they kept it. And he has all the proof. He puts it in this video, everything. And, you know, and then, you know, this is a problem. I don't know who this person is. You know, I made a withdrawal yesterday and it went through. This could be the project, or it could be people who put in smaller amounts get the withdrawals, right? The bigger people don't get the withdrawals, or they only let certain people withdraw who put certain amount of money in there. So it looks like it's working and the word of mouth spreads. Okay. But I have two people now confirm over 4,000. Maybe if you put $500, they'll let you do the withdrawals up to a certain point. Maybe they'll let you have a couple bucks, but then they don't let you get the big bucks. That's kind of how these things work. Okay, guys, that's kind of how these things work. It looks like it's probably an Indian company from a little bit of research I did on it. But, you know, if you're going to go and talk about these things and these kind of projects, if you're going to go into these things, most of the people getting into these things probably know it's a Ponzi. They're just playing a high stakes game. I don't feel, you know, I went off on the guy in my group. I said, bro, you knew what you were getting into. He goes, no, I did. Absolutely. He admitted. He goes, I knew exactly what I was getting into. And I go, don't do, I mean, like, I can't tell people morally. Like, I'm not the moral police. I'm not the legal police. There's nothing you can do. This money's gone. He goes, you think there's any way of getting my money back? I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, it's gone. Like, there's no way. It's gone. Forget about it. Like, no way to go. These guys are probably in India from what it looks like. A little bit of research, or maybe Eastern Europe. They had an Eastern Europe location, but all this could be fabricated. I'm like, these guys keep bringing it up. This is like probably the second, maybe even third iteration of this thing. Like, we don't know. Like this LML, you know, they got the whole affiliate thing going, and they're doing the same thing over and over again. We don't know. We don't know. They've probably already done this a couple times. They probably already took a few $1 million. They're sitting there collecting over 100 grand a month. Looks like 120 to 140,000 a month, doing nothing, literally nothing. They're just sitting there and you're depositing your money. You're giving them free money. They're doing nothing for 100 grand a month. So Kassoft is probably going to continue to go. I'm just shocked that it's got $500,000. It's absolutely insane. I mean, the site's really nice. Looks like they've done this quite a few times. I mean, if these deposits are real, these people are pretty screwed. Now, maybe some of these smaller ones, amounts, they let them withdraw some money, but the bigger ones, you know, they ain't going to be able to withdraw. You know, listen, even for a Ponzi, it's hard to pay 4.2% a day. It's just hard. Now, generally, guys, I'm taking a little bit of a different view. I used to expose different projects in the past. It's not really what I'm about. I'm about making money and taking my time and finding the good projects. But the projects I exposed in the past were projects I had invested in myself personally, and I was pissed that I lost money in it. In ways when I reflect back, it's been over a year in DeFi. Actually, yeah, it's been a while. And I know better now. But at that point, a lot of the stuff is new. A lot of the stuff coming out now is also new. So a lot of the stuff we don't really know about. We don't really understand how they work. And some people think it's a fraud or a scam. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But one thing I am pretty certain at this point, being in crypto for the time, anyone offering over 1 to 2% a day in returns, it's probably a Ponzi. And I don't care how great the project is. Look at BGV, Doc's team. I don't really care. You can't pay 1 to 2% a day, okay? Even if you pay 1% a day over 365 days compounded, the number is enormous. You're talking if you would have put in, for example, a $10,000 and you compound 1% a day for 365 days. On the minimum, it's 365%, but it's being compounded. It's an enormous amount. It's like 800 or 900%. It's huge. So you can't take 10,000 and turn it into 9,000 and $10,000. Nothing pays out like that. It's just not realistic. I don't care what you have. I don't care what it is. It doesn't really make sense. Now, some people are figuring out certain things. I've seen some projects that are kind of figuring out ways of doing, you know, anywhere from, let's say, 4 to 10% a month, like you're seeing the shiny jackal bots, those warfi bots. those are doing okay, right? But they have months where they do 2% or 1%, and they have months where they do 10%. So there's a fluctuation. There's never the standard amount that's given out every month. So yes, there are bots out there that can perform. I've seen them from 2% to 15%. That's kind of the upper ranges that I've seen. That's kind of the max you're going to see, but that's only about 0.5% a day, which, by the way, isn't every day, and it's not consistent. It's you might get days you get zero. I've used the Shiny Jackal bots, and there were days I would get zero, and there were days I would get 1 or 2%. Makes up for all the days I had zero. So that's the way some of these bots and these systems work that are legitimate. These other ones, stuff like this, there's no way. There's no way. There's one thing that you guys have to understand out there. It's better to go into the lower risk DeFi protocols that have good teams, solid teams. And by the way, I'm going to be talking to some solid teams later on, I think next week or maybe the week after. I don't remember, but I remember when I scheduled the AMA with them. So there's actually a lot of great solid projects coming out that have real world businesses that are actually going to be earning money and ways of making money. So that's the good news. So DeFi is changing, but this stuff is still out there because so many people in DeFi still are looking for these Ponzis. It's just a fact. It's just a reality of it. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. No one's really reported on this. And the reason I know about these things is because I'm so connected to the DeFi community. A lot of these exposing websites, they always expose after the scam is done. Oh, look, it rugged. Yeah, great. Thanks for telling everyone it rugged. What about finding the projects before they rug? How's about that? But they won't because they can't, because they're not connected. I'm going to try to give a little bit more input on this stuff, but I really like I said, I don't like to report because sometimes I think we can be wrong. And I had a conversation with somebody who I reported on last year, who I thought was a scammer because I lost $7,000 in the project. And I actually sat down with that person and we talked. I don't think they're a scammer anymore. I think they made some poor business decisions is what it came to. And I was like, okay. And I actually took the 2 videos that I called him a scammer and I did an update. Again, I called him a criminal. I called him all these names and I realized I shouldn't have. I realized I took it too far. He didn't talk to me. He talked to me now. And, you know, we sat down, we had a one-on-one. Maybe I'll have an interview with him because a lot of you know which project that was. It was a big project. It lost people a lot of money, over probably $100 million. So I had a long talk with them and I'm like, okay, all right, guys, I messed up. And I'll take fault in that I messed up. And also, like, listen, a lot of these YouTubers, you guys don't know about it. A lot of these YouTubers behind the scenes get sued. So also, that's not something I want to deal with. I ran an e-commerce company for over 20 years. I had like between 1 and 2 lawsuits a year. It's a pain in the ass to get sued. You got discovery, you got motions, you got this, you got lawyers. It's a waste of time. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm very careful of this stuff. And I also don't want to FUD people's bags. Also, if it's a real project, I got to make 100% sure what I'm saying is correct. Not 99.9%. I got to be 100%. That's why, even though I might know certain things going on in the background in some projects, I have no confirmation of those things. Thus, I do not speak of it. And I know there's a lot of people in those projects, so I don't want to hurt those projects. A lot of those people are people that I know in a lot of cases. So, you know, these are things that I've matured on. I was a little bit too reactionary early on when I started YouTube. I don't believe most DeFi is a fraud or a scam. I think there's a lot of good people out there trying to do good things. I believe that sometimes, even though they're trying to do good things, what ends up happening is they miscalculate. There's a lot of miscalculation that's done. There is. It just is. It's what it is. There's 2 other projects that I'm like 95% sure, and they're much bigger than this, that people have emailed me about. I haven't spoken on them. I'm not sure I will until I'm 100% sure. I have good evidence, but I mean, one of them is really big, by the way. And again, it's not the kind of YouTube channel I want to be or put my energy into that, to be honest with you. But I've given it over to some other people that might report on it, hopefully. But You guys can send me your information, your tips. It's fine. But like I said, I am not putting my neck out on the line. I've also realized something. A lot of these guys are very organized and they're part of organized rings. The fact that I don't even want to say the name of the project because they did something really nefarious. They actually took down an entire Discord channel recently. And there was another one that took down part of the Discord channel. And one of the guys that everyone thought was part of the Discord team disappeared. Like the people are saying he either got paid off or he was already working in the groups. Like these are powerful people. They know how to manipulate the situation. They know how to get into some of these so-called investigations. I call them so-called because there's nothing good coming out of these investigations because they're being manipulated by the same people who are running the frauds. So there's a lot of hands in there, and more I'm seeing out there is that these are organized people, and organized people will always beat out a bunch of people trying to figure out what's going on. They just will. And they have means, they have abilities, they have capabilities, and they know who you are. You don't know who they are. So to me, what CoffeeZilla does and the guys like that do, I don't have the balls for it, to be straight up with you. Like I'm amazed at some of these guys. It kind of blows my mind. But I have two other projects that are looking very, very suspect. One of them's huge, but I'm not going to break the news on it because I'm not 100%. If I become 100% and I have the data in hand, I will hand it over to some people. Let's just say some people that I know, and we'll see what they do. I don't want to FUD people's bags. So, but again, there's a moral dilemma in that, right? Are new people going to get in? But again, I don't have the evidence. I'm like 90 to 95% sure. I'm not 100% sure. And again, there's a whole legal aspect to these things. Sometimes you just don't want to get involved, So that's where I am on this stuff, because a lot of you guys are like, hey, you used to report on what's going on and the bad stuff. And there's not a lot of great projects, to be honest with you. There just aren't. And the scam projects, well, I mean, look, there you go. I'm not looking at them. I don't go in them. If I don't see a docs team, and that's the thing, if I don't see a docs team, if I see stuff like this, I don't even look at this. Why should I report on it? You guys all used to report. No, why should I report on it? I'm only doing this because I can't believe someone from my own community went in it. I literally yelled at him I had him on Zoom. I yelled at him like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? He goes, I know. Listen before you get mad at me. I knew what it was. I go, okay. I'm like, you're a predator. You realize that you put money in hoping somebody else would bail you out. He goes, he's like, I realize that. And I go, you have no right to ever, like when I see people like that, I go, you have no right to complain. He goes, I'm not complaining. I just want to tell you it happened to me. It might happen to other people. I'm like, all right, cool. And that was months ago. So I didn't even bother to report on it because I was so pissed off at him, but I still see the site up. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it's still up. It blows my mind that it can still be up. Anyway, guys, just avoid crap like this. You already know. You don't need me to tell you. You already know. You know. If you do get in this, you will lose everything. You will not make 3.6% a day. And you know this. Everyone knows this. Everybody knows this. So let's educate these guys. You know who these guys are? These are the people that know. And they didn't care. They thought somebody else would bail them out. We got to understand, sometimes no one's bailing you out. Sometimes you're going to take the hit. That's what's happened. These withdrawals are BS, by the way. Complete BS. If this is true, 6,000 investors got screwed like this, it tells me a lot. It looks like a lot of small investors, but I see a lot of big numbers coming through here too. So I don't know. It must be a lot of small and big investors kind of mixed together. So they're taking advantage of a lot of smaller investors, maybe in India, maybe in Africa, maybe in smaller, poorer nations, which sucks because that could be a lot of money for some of these people. So it's good to get it out. I'm probably the largest YouTuber that's covering this. So here you go, guys. Don't invest. It's a scam. I can say it. I have evidence. I'm very careful of what I call a scam or not. I have evidence. Actual evidence. Okay. Anyway, guys, best of luck. Take care.